Welcome to Territorial.o How to Win Guide. I'm going to be telling you how to win in this game. My name's Grave, and you might be asking me, why should you listen to my tips? Because you've hit rock bottom. You've played this game for at least 2 hours, and you haven't made it 5 minutes into the game. So hopefully listening to some of these tips will help you get past that and maybe get your first win ever in Territorial.io. Tip number 1, don't use your full power almost 99.99% of the time. There is a small amount of time when you should use your full power, but pretty much almost never use your full power. The reason for that being is interest is a huge thing in this game, where your army size increases based off of how much of your army you already have. Based on your current troop count, it will get you more power. So the larger your army is, the more you need to get back. So what you should do to send out some of your army, you should use less than 50% of your army. I usually put my bar between 20 or 10% of the bar and move it down over time. The reason why I do this is because if it's low, I can always click more than once. But if it's too high, I've already sent my army and it's too late to send less. Tip number 2, avoid early conflicts and instead expand. So in the beginning, there's usually a lot of open land next to you, unless you pick your spawn and someone else picked a spawn right next to you. To be honest, when that happens, you're pretty screwed, but try to make the best out of your situation. The key reason why you want to expand is because when you fight or take over another nation, you lose more troops than if you are just expanding. So when you get into the early game, your troops matter a lot more. So that means you want to just focus on expanding. And if you're doing the 10 to 20% rule, you should expand slowly. When you get to around 3,500 to 4,000, then you can dump a lot more troops out there to expand a lot further. If you attack, you'll probably waste your resources and someone else will take advantage and attack you. Tip number 3, after the beginning, when there is no more free land to grab, you want to go after the bots in the game. The bots in this game are not very smart. They're pretty sucky, and so they usually spend a lot of their resources, leaving them to only have a couple hundred or a few thousand troops in their nation. This makes them easy targets where you can get a decent amount of land without having to use a lot of resources. However, be wary because people are starting to be smart and pretending to be bots, so they seem like easy targets when in reality they are a player. Tip number 4, which I think is one of the most important ones, don't be afraid to not attack. I think a lot of people feel like they have to attack and expand as much as possible, but in reality, sometimes waiting for the right opportunity is at your advantage. We talked about earlier about interest in the game, and if you don't use any of your resources, you are just exponentially increasing your number. So in reality, sometimes it's smarter to sit there and wait to build up troops and wait for other people to use their resources so then you can gain land. So don't be afraid to not attack. It's going to get wild to use because you want to just expand, but this is probably one of the biggest tips I have. One of my key rule of thumbs when not attacking is to try to have as much troops / army / points as your strongest neighbor. If you have as much as they do, they are very unlikely to attack you because they know they can't take you without weakening themselves. So try to have as many troops as your strongest neighbor. This is always not possible, and sometimes you will go below that, but you want to stay around the same because if you're as powerful as your neighbors, they are less likely to attack you and go after weaker nations. Tip number 5 goes along with this: attack other nations that are attacking. So when someone else sends troops to attack, this is the key time for you to attack them. There are 2 reasons you want to do this. The first one is because when they are attacking, they are using their resources, so they are at their weakest point. They have the least resources they have. Number 2, if you attack someone, they are much more likely to stop their attack and expand themselves. So sometimes you don't even want to kill a nation, but if you attack a nation attacking, it is much more likely to prevent them from expanding themselves. So there are 5 tips to help you win your first game of Territorial.o. If you found any of these tips to be helpful, I would appreciate it if you subscribed and liked the video. Here are 2 videos on the screen of me playing the game and having a fun time. I also do Crusader Kings 30 things. I like doing sketches, AI videos, and all that type of stuff. Hope you had a great day and see you in a future video. See you later. Bye.